Good morning, everyone. This is the Johnny Fongo Show. I'm Johnny Fongo. It is a beautiful March morning here in Indiana. Kind of chilly, but hey. Let's talk about the show here real quick. This is just a new creation for me. My idea is to share my research on cannabis stocks in the cannabis industry. In a whole, that includes THC, CBD, everything in between. The hemp business. This is basically what I'm trying to do. I have been an investor and tracking these stocks since 2012. Been in and out of many of them. I will give full disclosure as we move along. If I talk about a stock that I have own currently, or am thinking about owning, I will disclose that fact. I'll also talk about how I trade. What I try to buy things at, how long I kind of look things over, and give you my opinion of these stories. These are just press releases. These are not recommendations to buy, okay? I want to be clear about that right off the bat. I am not a financial professional. I'm just a regular guy, good old farm boy from Indiana, just is a big fan of the plant, big fan of investing, trading, and researching. And I have a lot of research and on a daily basis, so I just want to share it with anybody who is interested. So that's the story here of the Johnny Fongo Show. I am going to use some virtual help as we go through this with reading some of these stories. I've rehearsed this show probably about 8-10 times, just cutting tracks and listening to them and seeing what needs to be done. And listening to myself talk for a long period of time puts me to sleep. So I use other voices to help read this news. Okay, so no virtual entities have been harmed during the making of this podcast. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. Okay, so let's get started with this is March 4th, the news. We're going to start with INDVR Brands Incorporated. It announces an asset purchase agreement with Strains Incorporated and Bronner Corp. to become a fully licensed manufacturer and distributor of infused products in Colorado. This comes out at about 7 o'clock this morning from Newsfile. INDVR Brands Incorporated, you can find them on the CSE as IDVR. Doesn't look like they have an OTC presence as of yet. We're going to let Guy talk to us about this for a few minutes.
INDVR Brands, and its wholly owned Colorado-based subsidiary, INDVR Brands US, Inc., are pleased to announce that they have entered into a definitive asset purchase agreement, APA, with Nevada-based Strains Incorporated and Colorado-based Bronner Corp., collectively the vendor, to acquire substantially all of the assets of these two companies. Subject to the completion of certain asset schedules and all required approvals from regulators, the transaction is expected to close on a date mutually agreed by the parties. In accordance with the terms of the APA, the assets to be acquired by INDVR include, but are not limited to, the acquisition of a state-of-the-art, fully licensed, 25,000 square foot cannabis processing and manufacturing facility in Denver capable of producing edibles, tinctures, vapes, concentrates, soft gels, and a myriad of other infused cannabinoid products. 3 Existing high-profile THC and CBD brands, strains, consisting of THC-CBD ratio tinctures in the regulated THC marketplace, and full-spectrum and ISO-spectrum CBD soft gels, tinctures, and pet tinctures in the hemp marketplace. 7 Sacred edibles and bullet concentrates. Access to a distribution platform of over 500 plus dispensaries in Colorado and Nevada. This is a milestone relationship for us, said INDVR CEO, Joshua Mann. In addition to a highly sought-after Colorado processing license, the Strains Tea, Bullet Concentrates Tea, and 7 Sacred Tea brands significantly expand INDVR's award-winning portfolio of adult-use cannabis products, and add hemp-derived products to the portfolio. The agreement also exemplifies our dedication to INDVR shareholders through becoming a fully licensed cannabis-infused products operator in Colorado.
All right, thank you, Guy. That was very informative. INDVR brands. I've heard of Strains Incorporated. I vaguely remember this INDVR thing. Let me look into this a little bit further and see if they are on the OTC. They've got a ticker out here to the side. It says CAAOF, trading at about 12.5 cents a share. It does look like it's on the OTC markets. And it is listed as INDVR Brands Incorporated. Okay, so it is on the OTC. It looks like CAAOF, Indiva Brands. Strains, I am not sure if they're publicly traded or not, but I know I've heard of them. So it looks like there's, some coalescing, I guess is the word you'd want to use here with these companies, trying to get a little bit better footprint, foothold, all those wonderful words. We're going to look at a headline now about the Science Group. The Science Group is spelled Psyyence. It's launching its functional mushroom brand, Good Mind. We're seeing a lot of these mushroom plays coming around. This is not a publicly traded company as far as I can see. Here it talks about the Science Group Incorporated, a leading platform in naturally derived psychedelic therapy and the development of commercialization of related technologies and products. Science, or the company, is pleased to announce that it has launched its functional mushroom brand, Good Mind, through a South African-based special purpose vehicle, SPV, called Good Mind Party Limited. Good Mind, or PTY. I'm not sure if that stands for party or not. It's Good Mind PTY Limited is how they have it written here. The SPV will be responsible for the production, commercialization, and sale of Good Mind functional mushroom products, which will in the future include additional psilocybin-containing products subject to compliance with all applicable local laws and regulations in the jurisdictions in which the SPV operates. The primary aim of the SPV is to establish a revenue-generating business by executing on opportunities in the functional mushroom space. It goes on to say that the SPV is a 50-50 partnership between Science via its subsidiary Science Biomed Corp. And Southern Sun Pharma Incorporated, wholly owned subsidiary, the Goodleaf Company, Pty Limited. A private company incorporated in South Africa, Goodleaf. Goodleaf is the leading cannabis brand in South Africa, with established distribution lines through retail stores, online, wholesale, deli, and coffee shops. Well, that's an interesting story. Like I said, this is not a publicly traded one, at least that we can reach. It might be on the South African market. You see a lot of these stories about the mushrooms coming in, being thought of more of a medicine now, and as treatment for certain mental health issues. And with this pandemic, there's just more and more people that are getting into bad shape mentally health-wise. So, here's another burgeoning sector almost. You think of what the cannabis sector was back 10 years ago. I started in it in 2012, so I've been in it for about 9 years now. And back then, you just didn't know whether it was going to do much or how it was going to play out, and you've just seen an explosion of states legalizing, businesses starting, jobs being created. So just kind of keep that name in mind. Maybe Google it. Keep an eye on the news from time to time with it. Interesting story. Let's look at this one here. Cannaponics to provide GATC Health's medical cannabis testing platform to patients and physicians throughout Australia. Okay, another global story. I love talking about these global stories because it's just not the United States and Canada. There's a whole world out there that would love to enjoy this plant. Okay? So, Cannaponics to provide GATC Health's medical cannabis testing platform to patients and physicians throughout Australia. This came to us about 7 o'clock this morning via Business Wire. I'm going to let Mia focus on this story for us real quick and give us the information.
GAC Health, an innovative technology company focused on whole genome testing and predictive multiomics (ATM), today announced that its medical cannabis platform licensee, GAC Canna, has entered into an agreement with Cannaponics, an integrated medicinal cannabis company based in Australia. The agreement allows Cannaponics to offer GAC Health's genetics-based medical cannabis test to physicians and their patients. By analyzing an individual's genetic response to medical cannabis with GAC Health's testing platform, Cannaponics will provide medical professionals with the specific data necessary to develop personalized medical cannabis treatment plans, as well as assess their efficacy over time. Cannaponics is a fully integrated Australian medicinal cannabis company based in Western Australia, with sites in Perth and Collie. Cannaponics was awarded a grant from the government's Collie Futures Industry Development Fund to acquire and develop 160 acres of prime agricultural land in the southwest of Western Australia. This is Cannaponics' Cannabis Hemp Hub, which will include a world-class facility for the cultivation, research and production of cannabis and hemp, including a 72,000 SQM greenhouse and a cutting-edge cannabis research and development facility. The facility is expected to create up to 1,000 new jobs over the next 5 years. Construction will begin this year with the first harvest to happen in early 2021, followed by a proposed initial public offering (IPO) and listing on the Australian Stock Exchange. The medical cannabis industry is an underserved and underutilized field with significant potential to improve lives, said John Stroh, interim CEO, GAC Health. We are looking forward to working with Cannaponics to provide patients and physicians with accurate information that could expand the use of medicinal cannabis and improve results of treatment for patients.
All right, thank you very much, Mia. That helps us kind of get a handle on what Cannaponics is trying to do. Again, not a publicly traded company, but it is a global, they're out there doing stuff in different countries. And it's what I like to look at. It is a global thing, not just a U.S. or Canadian thing, although the Canadian and U.S. stock markets are the easiest to play for us since we're here. So we got to take what we can get. But it's always good to have these names on a list and, do some Google searches on a regular basis to see if anything new is happening, whether they're going to be listed publicly, whether they're thinking about it, that type of thing. Okay, let's hit a few more here before we wrap it up. Yes, my co-host Carla finally makes an appearance. She's been squawking from afar for a while. Okay, well, let's talk about Next Leaf Solutions. They've got a headline out here. It says Next Leaf Solutions supplies rapid emulsion to cannabis-infused beverage manufacturer BevCanna. Now, I have played some cannabis-infused beverages for a while now. Had some mixed results. Rocky Mountain High brands was the last